Hey everybody, this is Finn. Right now I just have a empty scene. I created a new scene in one of my existing projects and I named it Materials Test. And in this tutorial I am just going to quickly show you how to add different materials to your objects so that you can have 3D objects of different colors. Go ahead and right click on the space of the hierarchy, create a 3D object, create whatever 3D object you'd want. For this, I'm going to create a sphere. I'm going to make sure its position is at 0, 0, 0. There we go. Now we can see it in our game view. I'm going to double click the sphere game object in the hierarchy so that I can see it clearly in the scene view as well. And I'm going to name it Red Sphere. Then I'm going to click this red arrow, which is going to let me drag it along the x-axis. And I'm going to drag it so that I can see right here it at the left of the screen. And I am going to create 5 more spheres by pressing Control D. I can duplicate the first one and drag it. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate until I have 6 spheres. I am going to select them all by clicking the top of the list, holding Shift, and then clicking the bottom of the list. And I am going to scoot them by the x-axis to the right so that we have a clear view of that. Now I'm also going to scoot them by the z-axis as well. And the y-axis. There we go. Now we have a view of our different spheres. I am going to rename the different spheres after the colors of the rainbow. I'm going to put orange sphere. The next one's going to be yellow sphere. The one after that is going to be green sphere. The next one will be blue sphere. And the last but not least is going to be purple sphere. All of these spheres right now have a default material. I am going to go into my assets root folder where I see all my other folders like scripts, physics materials, animations, and scenes. Then I am going to right click on this space and press create folder. And I'm going to name this folder materials. I'm going to double click that to open it. And I am going to show you how to create a material. Right click in this space, hover over create, and then go down to material. Make sure that you are not mistaking it for physics material, which is down here. That is not the same thing. You want to make sure you are clicking material. And we are going to name this one red. There are multiple ways to attach a material, but for now we are going to click and drag this red material to the red sphere game object in the hierarchy. To verify that it's there, I'm going to click red sphere. And yep, we can see right here where our default material used to be, it now says red after our red material. I am going to click on our red material, and in the inspector, we can see that our first property is albedo. That is the color and transparency of our material. We are going to click on this white box here, and that's going to bring up a color picker. Then we're going to make the best red we can. I'm going to choose one that's nice and bright. Yep, nice and bright, nice and red. And that is my red material. I'm going to right-click to create another material. And I'm going to name that one orange. And instead of dragging it onto the list, the game object list item, you are going to drag it onto the actual game objects itself in the scene view. So I am going to click and drag to our second game object sphere called orange sphere, and then I'm going to release my mouse to verify that it has that material on it. Yep, we're going to look at the last component and it says orange. And now we are going to change the albedo of that orange material so that it is not white, but actually orange. I'm going to choose a nice there we go. I like that orange. Now I'm going to show you a different way to add a material. It is pretty much the same way, but it's a little faster. I'm going to select my orange material, and I'm going to press Ctrl D to duplicate it. It is going to name it orange 1. I'm just going to click and rename it yellow. And then I'm going to click and drag this to the yellow sphere game object. It is going to turn orange because we have not changed the albedo property yet, but we are going to do that right now by clicking the orange square. Yep. Now we have this nice bright yellow color for that yellow sphere. I am going to go ahead and create the rest of the materials now for the green sphere. The blue sphere. Create material, and finally the purple material for the purple sphere. Now, as you can see, we've got some lovely colors for our spheres. They are no longer boring white and gray spheres. I'm going to show you the different settings in the inspector, specifically the top couple, like metallic and smoothness, as well as emission. Using this purple one as an example, I am going to make sure I have my purple material selected, and let's increase the metallic property of this material. As you see, it becomes very shiny and the color becomes very dark in places that it does not get much light. As you can see, the little icon for the material also changes. We can also change the settings for the material by clicking the game object itself, going down to the material and expanding this little drop-down triangle. Now I'm going to use this blue sphere to show you what it looks like when we modify the smoothness. With metallic at 0, I'm going to move smoothness to 0 as well. As you can see, it changed it from being shinier to being more of a matte material. It is not very shiny. It is not very smooth anymore. Let's move on to the green sphere, my personal favorite. I'm going to select the game object, open up the material, and I am going to mess with these settings. Full smoothness, full metallic property. It is hardly noticeable because of how smooth and shiny it is. We've got a tiny little dot of color. That doesn't look exactly how I would like it. So I am going to move metallic all the way back. Smoothness is still increased as far as it can go, and you can see that even though it is not metallic, it is still pretty smooth and it still has that shine to the material. I'm also going to use this sphere to demonstrate the last setting I would like to show you, which is emission. Go ahead and select this box to check it, and then it's going to ask you for a color. Click this black box that says HDR, and this is going to give the object a glowing effect. The more I make it a white color, the more it is a glowing white orb. If I lean more towards the more contrasted, the darker green color, it's still glowing, but you can see that it's dark. If I move all the way to the top right corner, it is just, all it is a neon green brightness. Let me bring that back up. And the darker you bring your color down, the less it's going to glow. The closer you get to the bottom of this color selector, the least amount of glow you're going to have. And the higher you go, the more amount of glow you're going to have. This has been a simple materials explanation for Unity beginners. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.